Okay, today we'll be discussing about timechart command in Splunk. Okay, so timechart is one of the most used and important command in Splunk, which deals with time series analysis. Okay, so if you see the Splunk events, right, all these events are associated with a time with it, right? That means which basically tells what time that particular event occurs, right? So time series analysis in Splunk is one of the important stuff in Splunk. Okay, so now for today's tutorial, what we'll do is, for the data setup wise, we will use two data from the Splunk tutorial data. I downloaded this from the Splunk website itself. One is this tutorials.zip, okay, another is this prices.zip file. Now this both of this file I have downloaded from the Splunk website. So whenever you download, right, so this file is basically every day it will be automatically updated. So you'll always get the recent data. Now this tutorials.zip I actually indexed in my main index over here. If you see the source over here, okay, and from the prices.csv I created a lookup over here. If you see input lookup prices, so it's basically has the product code, product price, product ID, product name, and the sales price over there. Okay, so now how to index this data and how to create this lookup, everything has been well documented in Splunk documentation. So I'll be sharing these two links in my video description as well. So you can it will not be complex enough to set up this data. Okay, so now for our analysis, what we'll do is, for each and every product, so if I just show you the setup over here, if you see there is a action field over here, extracted field, right, which basically tells us when the product has been purchased, like the event related to the product purchase, add to cart, viewing, removing, change quantity, something like that. Okay, so if I just say action equals to purchase over here, so it will list down all the events which basically deals with the purchasing of a product over there. Okay, and if I just do the lookup, because this events does not include the sales price, okay, as well as the product name, so what I'll do is I'll look up the prices lookup. Okay, and if you see these events have a field called product ID. So based on this product ID, I will just look up the product name, because this product ID is same name as product ID over here as well. So that's why I have mentioned product ID as product ID. Then output lookup, okay, output new, basically not lookup, output new, I'll say product underscore name, and I'll just take the sell price over here. Okay, sell price over here. Okay, so it should basically create two new field called product name and the sell price over here. Okay, so now this should be our data which will be working mostly today. Okay, so and eventually, like when I'll be discussing other use cases, we may modify this one. Okay, but this will be more or less the data we'll be working with today. Okay, so to start with, let us talk about what time chart is. So time chart is basically it creates a statistical aggregation for a field. Okay, for the charting purpose. Okay, now the x-axis of the chart will always be time over here. Okay, so it has a fixed format as well. Now there you will see, maybe I have seen this one in Splunk Answers website as well. There are a lot of places people try to format the x-axis time series time as well, but through time chart that is not possible till now. Okay, maybe in future release Splunk will handle that, but till now that is not possible. In that case, maybe you need to go for chart and other commands, but mostly the x-axis of the time chart is it's always, not mostly, it is always, x-axis of the time chart is time with a fixed format over there. Okay, now the y-axis, you can use lot of statistical functions on different fields to produce different statistics over there. Right, now if I just talk about the syntax, so this is the syntax. Okay, now if you see it over here, there are a lot of inputs in time chart over here. You may have seen the most simplistic version over here, or maybe you may have worked on other stuff as well, right? But time chart is a very versatile command. Okay, so whatever we have seen in daily basis, it can do more than that one. Okay, so if I just talk about the optional and the required argument for time chart, if you see this green color stuff over here, this is the only required argument for the time chart. Rest of the stuff all are optional over here. Okay, even between this green color stuff, if you see the single aggregate and the split by clause, you can use either this one or an eval expression or the split by clause. Okay, so even you can use one of these two over here. Okay, so to start a use case over here, right? So let us say if I just ask like last 4 days, if you see I just filtered the data on last 4 days only. If I just say last 4 days per hour basis, how much sale I have done. Okay, if I just wanted to know that, how I'll do time chart, right? So time chart, now time chart has lot of this aggregate functions we can use, right? So if I just note it down, this aggregate functions over here as well. Okay, now some of these aggregate functions are same as whatever we have discussed in stats, event stats, or outstream stats, right? Now there are some functions which is useful in time chart as well, and they mostly use in time chart, called per day, per hour, per minute, per second. Okay, now let us try to discuss some of them as well today. So let us try to implement our first use case here. So we are basically trying to find per hour basis how much sale I have done over here, right? So we'll say time chart. Now the time chart has an input called span over here. Okay, where you can mention the time over here. Okay, the time bins over here basically. So if I just go back to our documentation over here, so there are a lot of bin options in time chart. One of the most used is the span one, where you basically sets the size of each bin over there, right? Now if I just go to the usage over here, now you can give lot of options over there, either like log based span, just like this one. This is the some number, then log, then another number. The first number, the second number is basically the base of the log, and second number is basically the first number is basically on what number you want to create that log, output the log value. Okay, and the most used is the span length based on time, like this one, some integer in the time scale, just like I have given over here, 1 hour, H means hour, S means seconds, M means minutes, like that you can give. Okay, I'll be sharing that link as well, how what will be the time format and all, so that you can refer it. And there is another option, I think you all also know, like span that snaps to the specific time, just like week, first day of the week, starting from the second day of the week, something like that. We'll see an example of that one as well. Okay, so let us talk about span a bit. Okay, so I am giving span 1 hour because we want to give the hourly basis. Now what I want to do, I want to sum the sale price, correct, and to sum the sale price hourly basis over here. Okay, so if I just run for last four days. Okay, so let us see how it goes over here. If you see it over here, for hourly basis, it basically sum the price over there. Okay, and you can give a name, meaningful name as well, like total sale price also you can give, so that your field name will be a meaningful name over here as well. Okay, so if I just go to visualization over here, you can draw a very good line graph, or you can put it in a column graph as well, just to visualize those stuff, how much sale you have done over there. Then it will be easier to find any outliers or any kind of anomalies over here. Okay, you can easily find it out from here. So that is the most simplistic use case over here. Now if I just talk about the span based on snap to a time, let's say I want for the last 4 weeks, what will be my weekly sale volume or sale price over there. Okay, the total sale price weekly, and my week should start from Monday. Okay, so for that what I will do is I have to write something like week at the rate w1. This will give each Monday. Okay, and then sum of the sale price as sale price. Okay, and the time frame I'll just give 4 weeks ago. Apply. So basically it will now create for each and every week. Now if you see, the time bins has been changed now over here. Okay, so wherever it finds data, it just total the sale price. Wherever it did not find, that means we do not have any event over here, it did not do anything over here, it created the blanks value over here. Similarly, if I just go to visualization in the column chart also, it will be the same thing will be reflected over here. Okay, so we talked about span of 2 stuff. Now let's go back to our document over here. Okay, now there is a default time span as well. Okay, so that means whenever you search for a data, okay, in your search prompt, and you use a time chart over there, and you did not provide any span over there, okay, Splunk uses a default spanning. Okay, if you see, this is the list over there. So if you just search for last 15 minutes, it by default uses a span of 10 seconds. Similarly, for 60 minutes, it uses 1 minute, like that. Okay, so it is good to know that one. But whenever you will be coding and you will be implementing time chart in your dashboard, right, always it is good to mention the span over there, so that there will be no default behavior by Splunk. Now there is another spanning option called minimum span. Okay, so this is like a threshold based spanning. So Splunk has provided a predefined threshold, and what span it will be used for, for that spanning. So if we mention minimum span, okay, and we are mentioning 35 minutes, let's say, so 35 is basically crossing this threshold over here, right? So for till 30 minutes, it will be using a span 1800 seconds. Okay, but when it cross 30 minutes, for all the numbers till 1 hour, it will be using a span of 1 hour. Basically it is 3600, sorry, not 1 hour, yeah, it's 1 hour only. Okay, so for all the numbers greater than 30 minutes till 1 hour, it will be using a span of 1 hour. So if I just say, instead of span, if I just say mean span, okay, if I just say mean span over here, and let's say I'll give 35 minute now. Okay, so basically I am crossing this 30 minutes limit, so I am basically falling into this zone now. So that means Splunk will be using a span of 1 hour over here. Okay, so if I just run it for last 4 days, let's say, okay, so if you see it over here, every hour it is basically spanning on every hour over here. Okay, so this is the concept of mean span. Basically it is, as I said, it is a threshold based spanning over here. Okay, unless it is necessary, I think it is good approach to give the actual span value itself. Okay, so there are other bin options like normal bin, where you can give the bin size as well, how many bins you want to create. Okay, now there is a limit, or there is a drawback of that approach is this does not set the target number of bins. Okay, it basically helps Splunk to find the smallest bin size, and accordingly it will create bins. Maybe the output bins will be far less than the number of bins. So if I just say for last 4 days, okay, I wanted to create a bin of 10 over here. Okay, so let's see how it behaves over here. Invalid argument bin equals to 10. Okay, I think it's bins. Okay, so it's bins. So if you see, it created a bin, I think five bins over here, which is far less than 10 over there. Okay, so sometimes it's necessary when you deals with lot of numeric data. Okay, but generally when you try to use this sales data based on time, generally we always try to give spanning time over there. Okay, so we talked about bins, we talked about span, we talked about mean span as well. Now let us talk about align time over here. Now if I just go back over here, let's say I just given a span of 12 hours over here. I just wanted to find the every 12 hours what is the total sum of the sale price. Okay, and I just do it last 4 days beginning of the day. That means it will start from 6th, okay, 12 a.m. till today. Okay, till today over here. Now if I just apply over here, let's see how it's working. Now if you see it over here, okay, it created a bin of 5th as well, because there are till 6th 5:30 there are events, right? So if I just run this one in verbose mode, it will be more clear now. I'll just go to events over here. If you see, the first event start at 12 a.m. September 6, right, till 6:30 it has event. That means for 5th from 5:30 till the night of 6, that means 11:59 p.m. of the 5th, there is no event over here. But as it created a bin of 12 hours over here, so it has created this guy over here as well. Okay, so we do not want that one, because we have given our time range from the 6th morning itself, right? So for that, what we can do is we can align the time over there so that it don't create this bin. If I just say align time, okay, in the align time you can give any time range, like let's say from fifth hour of the day you want to start, or second hour of the day you want to start, or you can give earliest time as well. So if I just give earliest here, so what we'll do, it will start from the earliest time whatever we have mentioned it over here. That means it will be starting from 6th 12 a.m. Okay, so if I just run it over here now, if you see now it has changed the bin. So whatever bin previously it has created, we just override those default behavior by this align time over here. Okay, so we are basically manipulating the output of the time chart by using this lot of stuff over here. Even in the align time you can give @day. That means it will start from the beginning of the day as well. If you want to start from, let's say, 5th hour from that day, generally this is required for your local time zone calculation, right? So you can give that one as well over there. Okay, sorry, this is adding 5 seconds. If you want to add 5 hours, so it will be +5. So it will start from evening 5 to next day morning 5, evening 5, next day morning 5, something like that. Okay, so this is how the align time works. Let's move on now we'll go back to our again 1 hour of example over here. Let's talk about some of the eval expression. We can use it over here. Okay, now if you see, we have calculating the sum of price over here, right? So you can use eval over here as well. Okay, so let's say I want to round this guy to a single decimal digit. Okay, so I can do something like round, comma 1 over here. Okay, I think there will be another quote which I always miss, another bracket, sorry. Okay, so you can do something like that as well, even using this eval function. If you see over here, we are using eval as a function over here. You can concatenate two fields as well. Okay, and then do the time chart as well. Those type of things you can do. Now let me show you another example of eval over here. Okay, for that we'll just go back to our diagram over here. Now for the time chart aggregate functions, like there are a lot of aggregate functions like per day, per hour, per minute, per second. Okay, so if I just wanted to know, suppose let's say per day, okay, how many people viewed a particular product and how many people purchased products over there. Okay, how to find it out? So for that, when you use this per day, per hour functions over there, right, you do not need to mention this span because it is already inbuilt in that particular function over there. Okay, so if I just go back to our events first, let us try to understand the data. Okay, so over here in our action, if you see, so currently we are filtering with only purchase. So we will just go back to this all the events over there in last 4 days. Okay, so there are a lot of actions over here, right? So one of the action is purchase over there. Okay, and when a person view a particular product, right, so there is a field called method. Okay, and in that method the value of the method will be a get one. So whenever a person views a particular product, a get events, a get endpoints they call, right? So that get endpoints details are stored as an event over here, just like this over here. Okay, so we will try to use this two field to create that view over here. Okay, so what I'll write time chart, okay, per underscore day. Okay, so now what will be our two things, number of views and number of purchases over here, right? To count the number of views, we'll say eval. Okay, my method, this method will be get over there. Okay, so method will be get over there. Okay, so this is as number of views. Okay, and comma per underscore day. Okay, eval, similarly my action will be purchase. Okay, action will be purchase over here. I'll just copy this one. Okay, so this will be my action per day as number of purchases, CHAES. Okay, so if I just do that one, it will create per day wise how many items they has viewed and how many items they purchases, user purchases over there. Okay, so this type of things also you can do using the time chart per day function or per hour per minute functions with the eval one. Okay, now let us talk about the split by clauses now. Okay, so we are moving from this single aggregate to the split by clauses. So it has some good use cases over there as well. So for that, what we'll do, we will go back to our span 1 day and sum of the sell price. Okay, as total sell price data set now. Okay, so this is our initial time chart over there, right? Okay, we will mention 1 hour here. Okay, just to go back to our initial data set, and we will also mention action equals to purchase here. Okay, so we will just take hourly basis this data. Okay, now if I just say like I want to get the total price by the product wise for each product, so that in that case I have to add a by clause over there, by product name. So this is the split by clause in time chart, where you can see it over here. For each and every product, it created that hourly basis sales price, the total sale happens hourly basis for each and every product over here. Okay, now certain things it need to mention over here. If you see, it created a thing called other over here, right? So this is the default behavior of time chart, where it basically shows you top 10, I think. Okay, the top 10 products. Okay, the rest of the products, it's push it to the other bin and show it over here. Now you can do a lot of things over here. One of the things is, if you just want to keep this other but with some different name, you can just give other string. Okay, and just give all other products. Okay, so if you just give that one, so instead of others, it will give you other products. Okay, all other products. It will basically renaming that other to something else. Okay, or you can at overly, you just want to display only the top values. Okay, you don't want to have the other one. In that case, just give the use others equals to false over here. Okay, by default it is true, so it will not create that other field at all, that bin at all. Okay, now if you just want to return all the fields irrespective all the field values, basically here it is basically these headers, these fields are basically the values of this product name field, right? So if you just want to return all the products name, you just give limit equals to 0 here. If you see, whenever I am giving limit equals to 0, I am writing after time chart. Whenever I am giving use others or other string, I am writing after the by clause, because those stuffs are input of the by clause. This limit is input of this time chart. So you have to be careful when you are writing this stuff over here. Okay. Now if you see, it is returning all the products over here. Okay. So this is some of the stuff you need to remember when you will work with time chart. Now it may happen that when you use this split by, right, the split by field name, some of the events do not have this split by field name. Okay, it may happen because in your index there are a lot of events together, right? And in that case, what Splunk will do, it will create a value called null over here as a field name over there. So let me show you that one. So if I just remove action equals to purchase, and if I just remove this time chart over here, okay. So if you see this, these are the events related to the vendors, right? These do not have that product informations over there, right? So if I just say, I'll just control Z by vendor ID. So there is a field called vendor ID over here. So I'll just copy the name. So if I just say total sale price by vendor, this does not make any sense because it will not, because vendor ID will not have that field called sale price, because it do not have the field called product ID by which we are looking up the sales price, right? So if you see, Splunk has created a field called null over here. Okay, so in this type of case, either you can omit the null field fully by using use null equals to false. In that case, Splunk will not at all create that particular field. Okay, or what you can do is you can give it a name as well. I think null string, yeah, you can give it a name like no product available, no product available. Okay, so in that case, it will just create that field name as no product available over there. Okay, it's based on use case, we have to manipulate this stuff over there. Okay, now let us talk about the where clause you can use with the time chart as well. Okay, now this where clause is completely separate from the where command we have in Splunk. Okay, where we basically use the where clause to filter the event. Here in time chart, we use this where input to filter the time chart output as well, so that this where basically useful to see the anomalies or see the spikes in your events data. Like this time my sales is very high, this time my sales is very low. Okay, and this wire has certain kinds of input, certain formatted input, which we need to aware about. Okay, so we'll start with this data set only. Every hour we are generating the data set by product name, not the vendor ID. Let's talk about the product name, and we will create this other string as well. That's fine. Okay, so now if I just say where, okay, now where you want to mention the sum, this sum, okay, in top 2. Okay, this is the format. If I just want to get the top 2 values over here, top 2 of this sum over here, you can get it over there. For these 2 products, we are getting the top 2 sum over here. Okay, even for bottom 2, you can give something like bottom 2 over here. Okay, so it's O. Okay, so these are the 2 products for which the sales values are very less, like it basically last 2 highest sales values from the last. Okay, so this type of thing you can do by using this type of where clause over here. Okay, so apart from those stuff which we already discussed, right, so there are a lot of other time chart input as well, which are good to know, which we should know those stuff as well. For that, we will just go back to our hourly basis products, this one. Okay, so now if I just go to visualization tab, you will see this thing, and you can format it into stack mode to get a good view of the different product wise, this one. Okay, now there is a input called continuous over here. Okay, so if you see in the chart, right, this is till this portion we have events over here. After that we do not have events over here till today, right? So if I just say cont equals to false, what will happen? So the chart will be displayed till the time we have events over there. Okay, so basically we are zooming it up, that's all. This is the functionality of con. Now let us talk about fixed range, another input called fixed range over there. If you see it over here, like if I just run this query, span equals to 12 hour and then the total price, summing it up, right? So it also includes those periods where we do not have any events over there, right? That's why it is creating as those periods, but it is creating as a null over there. So if I just say fixed range equals to false, okay, so what will happen is it will only create those fields which have values over here. On those ranges we do not have any value, it will just omit those ranges over there. Okay, now let us talk about another stuff over here. Let's say I have sum equals to 1 hour. I have two series, one is the sum, another is the max of price, let's say. Okay, I have max of price over here by as total sale price, sum. Okay, so total, this one I will be copying it over here. Okay, and I'll just say max, I'll just mention it as a max underscore price here. Okay, by product name, let's say. For each and every product I am just calculating this two series over here. Okay, so if you see it over here, how it is creating the field names, if you see total sales price underscore the product name. Similarly for max, okay, I'll just take the sale price here only. Okay, I have taken the sale price, so the max of the sale price over here. So for max, it is creating field name something like max price, max underscore price colon the field name. Similarly for total sale price colon the field name, because the product name is same over here. Only thing is that we have two series over here. One is calculating the sum, another is calculating the max over here, right? So in that case you can change this field name as well, the formatting of the field name. Either you can mention separator equals to, let's say, dot, instead of colon it will be dot. So it will be something like max price dot, something like this. Or you can give a better option called format here. Okay, so if in format you can give a token wise this thing. There are two tokens called AGG, which is the aggregator. Okay, and another thing called, let's say, I'll just give underscore over here as a separator over here, and there is another token which will basically hold the value over here. Okay, underscore val. So this val will basically represent the product, each and every product name value, and the aggregator will represent the aggregator we are using it over here. That means for sale it will be total sale price, for max it will be the max price. If you see now, it's created with the underscore over here. Okay, so you can do this kind of formatting as well. Okay, so let me go back over here to the documentation. Let's see if I just missed anything over here. We discussed about different split by clauses as well over here, right? Sorry, different split by clause, align time. Yeah, I think most of the stuff which I wanted to cover today I have covered it. Okay, so hopefully this video is helpful. Okay, in future videos we'll see other commands as well. Okay, see you in next video.